Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to install a PHP debugger on your system in Visual Studio Code. The one we're going to use is XDebug. It's made by XDebug. So go into your extensions here, click extension, type XDebug, and the two that we're going to install here is PHP debug by XDebug and then the PHP extension pack. This is optional, but for debug we need this one. So go ahead and click install. I've already done so, and that'll be the first step that you need to complete. In the next step, we're going to follow the installation instructions for installing the PHP debug, the XDebug, on our system. We're going to do this in Windows first, and then we're going to do it again in Linux. So the first thing we want to do is follow the instruction here. We need to get the right DLL file in Windows or the right .so file. This is what we're going to download from the XDebug site. But we need to figure out which one we need, which one is for our system. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, do this first step, create test.php file and add PHP info statement in there, and then we're going to get the output from a browser. So what I'm going to do is going to go into, here's a PHP, some code that I have here in PHP. I'm just going to create a new folder, and we're going to basically call it test folder. Okay. And in here, what we're going to do is we're going to add a file. Okay, and I'm just going to call it test, or we'll call it index.php for now. Okay, and in here, we're going to follow the steps that they're asking us to do is put a PHP info. Okay, for this step right here. So put a PHP info statement in here, and then take a look at the output in the browser. So let's go in there. So let's open it up. PHP. I'm going to close here, and I'm going to call PHP PHP info, and then we're going to go to this location in a browser. Okay, so if you're in Windows, I'm assuming that we're using XAMPP to have the XAMPP control panel installed here. Turn on Apache to make sure it starts, and then go to the location of this file in your browser. So you're going to have to hit localhost and then the location to your file. All right, so this will tell us exactly what's needed, what you need to install. This is basically all the information that we need for our install. All right, so let's take a look at what comes next. Okay, so what we can do, you got two options here, is to take this, grab the source, you paste source, okay, and Control A, Control C, and paste it. Okay, so this is the HTML source code from the from there, and then analyze my PHP info. Okay, so we have to go to, sorry, I forgot to mention this web page. It's xdebug.org. The wizard is right here. Once you click on this link here, it'll take you to the wizard, and this is the information that is needed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to download. This is the DLL that we need. Okay, so this is the DLL that I was talking about that we need for Windows. So we need to download this guy and put it into our XAMPP directory. Is in our PHP, sorry, is in XAMPP PHP ext, and what we're going to do is we're going to download this and we're going to rename it to php_xdebug.dll. So basically get rid of the version code. Okay, so let's download this. It's blocked, so what you need to do is you need to download the unverified file. You might want to scan it. So let's go into, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new folder here, downloads. Okay, I've downloaded the file. If you want, you can scan it with your antivirus just to make sure it's clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it. Okay, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it. And what I have to do is I have to go to my XAMPP, where PHP is, the PHP folder is. So we need to go to the PHP/ext. So what I need to do, I'm going to make sure I cut it again. Go to my XAMPP directory. Okay, I'm going to go into PHP and then ext. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste the file here. I've already got this file, so I'm just going to skip. It's already been installed in my system. Okay, the next thing I need to do is go into my XAMPP, that same folder there. Okay, what I have to do, I have to get out of the ext folder, but I got to go into it's XAMPP PHP, okay, which is where I am right now, and I have to edit php.ini. So let's go find php.ini. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to add the following line, this line right here, Zend extension equals XDebug, to that file. Okay, so let's go in here. I'm just going to open it. I'm going to bring it over here. One second, let me close some of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over here. This is php.ini. Okay, and I'm going to go right to the bottom. So I've done a couple of things. Right at the bottom of this file, I wrote XDebug. So this is just sort of a header. Okay, and this is what we need to do. So they're showing Zend extension equals XDebug. That's the last line that I have here. Okay, and for VS Code, so it's Zend underscore extension equals XDebug. For VS Code, okay, we've got these other two lines right here. XDebug.mode equals debug. XDebug.start with request equals yes. Now this is VS Code specific. So when you go, those first two lines there come from, if you continue on with right here. Okay, so we're installing, this on VS Code. So for XDebug version 3.xx, whatever, that's what we have. XDebug.mode is debug. XDebug.start with request equals yes. So we have to put that in our php.ini folder. Okay, and then we need to restart our Apache server. Okay, so once we've done that, let me go back to that file. Okay, I'm going to grab the file, bring it over here. Make sure that you have these lines exactly as I've written them here. Okay, give me 2 seconds to take a look at that. Okay, type those out. Make sure you have them. Put that in your php.ini, and then Control S will save the file. Okay, so you can close it, and then what we need to do is we need to restart our PHP, our Apache server here. Okay, so I'm going to stop Apache, and then I'm going to restart Apache. Okay, and that's it. That now Apache server is running, and now we should be able to run some code. Okay, so that's my test folder. The other alternative, if you don't want to do it in a browser, they explain how to do that here. Actually, I'll go to another one here. So let's go back up here. The alternative to running this in the browser, like I showed you here, pasting the code, is to basically type php.i. But you need to do this in the in this folder here. I'll show you. If you're going to run php-i, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your command line. Okay, you're going to go to XAMPP. So cd dot cd dot. You're going to go to your XAMPP folder. Okay, and then you're going to go cd php, and in here you're going to have where the php.exe is. Okay, let's take a look here. php.exe. From here you can run that command, unless PHP is at your command line. But anyway, php-i, okay, instead of copying the source code, the other alternative is just to copy all of this. Okay, all of this right from when we, let me go back here. There's your XDebug. We got to keep going to where we wrote our first command right here. php.i. Okay, so right here, we could copy this. Okay, Control C on all of this. Let me do that again. Control C. Okay, and then you go back to the browser. Okay, and the other option is just, okay, we're going to clear this, and it'll give us the same file that we had to download, right? Analyze it, and then you get your PHP file from here. You can download this guy. Okay, so those are the steps for installing it. We now have it installed, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna test it. Okay, so let's go in. That was PHP info. I don't need to do that one anymore. I'm gonna get out of the test folder and just go into inheritance. Okay, so what we're gonna, let me just go out from here. This is the inheritance, the index here, this file right here. You'll see this later in the object-oriented programming. We just need a PHP file here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna close out of this stuff, and we're gonna run this code. So I'm gonna close this too. So let's go to inheritance. Okay, and what we can do now is we can start, oh, forgot one thing. We have to restart our PHP server. Did we do that yet? We have to stop the server, restart the server. I already kind of did that. Okay, so now the server has been restarted. And the next thing we can do is go in and run our debugger. So go into debug here, run in debug, and go here and click listen for XDebug. And at this point now, we have our, we can put some breakpoints here. Okay. I can close out of these things. Okay, and I'm gonna grab, okay, so this is my, I'm gonna run the code here. Okay, so what we wanna do, let me just bring this over here, put that over there. We're gonna test the code now. So I put a breakpoint. Okay, and here's my code is gonna run over here. And all I have to do is press start debugging. Okay. And now I'm going to refresh the page, and it's going to stop right at my breakpoint. Okay, and now I can step over the breakpoint, step over the break, or go to the next line, and run. And now my PHP code has now run. Okay, so these are the very basic setup for debugging PHP code. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but on Linux. So first thing we're going to do, you're going to open up Visual Studio Code, follow the exact same steps. So let's give Visual Studio Code a second to load up. While we're doing that, we're going to run the code for finding out the information about PHP installation. So php-i, so PHP installation information. Now we've got the all the details of our PHP installation. I mean, we could have done it the other way, as we did before, getting the information from the web page after running PHP info function. But this is the other way to do it. So what we're going to do, we're going to follow the same steps. I'm just waiting for VS Code to boot up here. Let me open it up again. And I'm going to grab all this information while we're waiting to open that up. So grab all the information right to the bottom. Oh, now Visual Studio is opening up. Give it a moment. Let me just Control A gets you to the bottom, and then you can swipe and grab all that information. I'm going to just copy it, and then what we'll do is we'll paste it into the same website that we did before. So let's grab this information, and we'll hit Control C to copy, and then we'll Control V to paste on the website once we get to it. So first thing we want to do is grab all that, hit Control-C to copy, or right-click and hit copy. That's another option. Probably better to right-click and copy here. Seem to work better. Okay, so we've got our right here. Okay, this is a PHP file. What we're going to do is we're going to go in, grab the extension, install the extension. So look for, again, XDebug. Okay, and we're going to install, we need PHP XDebug. That's the first one. That's the main one. And then we can also install the extension pack. And they're both from the developer XDebug. So I'm going to go into XDebug, and we're going to follow the exact same instructions that we did before. So we need to go to the installation wizard. We're going to say, do you want code to open the external website? I'm going to say yes, I do. I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to get the DLL. Well, actually, it's a .so file, right? That's the dynamically linked library in Linux. So let's give it a second, let it open that up. And what we're going to do is we're going to control a right click and then paste. So this is the information about our PHP installation. We'll analyze it, have them analyzed, and it's going to give us a .so file and instructions for how to run this. So what we need to download xdebug.tgz. Okay, so let me download this guy, and we're going to here. Let's click it. Actually, not right click, but I want to actually click it. Okay, we have the prerequisites. We should have the prerequisites, but let's follow these steps exactly as they show. So, okay, let me go into what I need to do. I need to go into downloads. Okay, for now, I'm going to let me just see the rest of the instructions here. Okay, it's the same setup as we had in Windows, so we have to enable that in our php.ini file. Okay, so same setup as we have on our Windows. Okay, let me just lower this for a second. Back to the terminal. Let's clear it. Okay, and we need to go into, okay, so we've downloaded it. We need to install the prereqs. Let me just move this to here. Okay, the terminal will move to here. Let's give that a second here. Okay, so what we're going to do, follow the exact same steps here. So sudo apt install php dev autoconf auto make. Let's just make sure. All right, put in your password. Should a few more things need to be installed here. That's fine. And all right, then we'll unpack the file. Failed to fetch. Oh, okay. Packages will be installed. Just make sure it'll archive. It got some stuff, but it had some issues with others. Okay, let's see what happens here. Say sudo apt update. Just make sure everything is working fine here. Okay, now let's hit sudo apt upgrade, and we'll run the upgrade. Okay, magic of video. Let's. Okay, and my update just finished, so now we can continue on. All right, let me clear this. All right, so next step is we need to go to our downloads folder and unpack the files. So cd downloads ls. I need the XDebug one, so I'm going to say tar xvzf and then XDebug. I'm going to push tab, and we're going to unload it or unpack it. And ls in here, we're going to go cd XDebug, go into it. And in here, we've got our source code. So we need to compile the source code. All right, so let's see if we can use PHP. We'll see if this one works first. PHP eyes, not found. So we're gonna need to install it. So let me do sudo apt install php-dev. Actually, probably 8.2. Not dev. Enter. It's not able to find it. Let's just try php-dev. And let's install that. And now we should be able to run PHP eyes. Okay, let's run that again. PHP eyes. And it's just doing it right now. Configuring for. Okay, you should run auto update. Okay. Auto update. It's updated. All right, great. Next thing we want to do is go run configure. Okay, so I'm just following what the instructions that are here on XDebug installation instructions. All right, so we just did configure. Now we got to make. And then we're going to copy the library file, the .so, the dynamically linked library file, over to user lib php, and then this folder right here. So we're gonna I'll just pause it for a second. Okay, build complete. Make test is right. It wants us to run make test. Sure. Okay, it says it cannot be tested with make test. Please refer. Okay, no problem. We'll keep going from here. So now we need to do the next step here. Copy the modules right here. I'm just gonna copy that over. Paste. Great. Okay, we just go grab those to delete this line here. Permission denied, no problem. So do that again, but hit sudo. Okay, done. All right, and then next thing we want to do is we need to go to etc php. So cd etc php ls cd 8.3. Okay, cd cli ls cd confd. Okay, and it wants us to create 99-xdebug.ini. So touch 99-xdebug.ini. Oh, permission denied. So let's go here. Let's see if it's in there. Okay, it's not yet in there. So we'll say like this. I'm going to say sudo. Okay, so now I'm in. And then it says add the line. Okay, so we'll just use nano. Say sudo nano 99 XDebug, and we'll add the line here. ZEND extension equals XDebug. Control S to save, Control X to exit. And then they want us to update php.ini files in the system. So we need to go and find the php.ini files. Okay, so if we back out to etc php, okay, inside the etc php folder, type ls, and go cd, whatever version you are. I have 8.3 right now. Type ls, and then if you type cd cli ls, you'll see php.ini, cd ... cd apache, apache 2, sorry, apache 2 ls. There's also php.ini. Okay, it looks like I have two versions. I'm just going to modify both of them. So in here, I'm going to go sudo nano, and we're going to say php.ini, and we're going to go right down to the bottom, and we're going to put the same things as we had before. Okay, go right down to the bottom of the file, and we're going to add the same stuff we added when we did php.ini on Windows. So I'm going to go right down to the bottom. This is a large file. It's a very large file. That's fine. I'm going to open up a new one. Basically, I'm going to copy the same things I have from my Windows setup. Okay, so I'm in this file. I'm going to start off with the one that's see, it's telling me here, please update the php.ini files in adjacent directories, as their systems seem to be configured with separate php.ini file for web server and command line. That's fine, no problem. I'm going to do both of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I'm going to see, here's from Windows. It wants the exact same code here. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to paste it. Control, I think I have to right click. There we go. Okay, so that is Control S, Control X. Okay, so that was in Apache 2. Okay, so that's the web server, and I have to go to the command line interface. So I'm going to go cd ... go ls. So CLI is the command line interface. Okay, so that's the one that we're going to do. So cd CLI, that's the one that we're going to when we're coding. Okay, and ls, we're going to go sudo nano php.ini. Okay, and again, we got to go right down to the bottom of this file, and we're going to paste the same thing. So let's run it here. I'm going to get right down to the bottom and place this file. Okay, sorry about the delay. It's just, this is a big file. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, same setup. Right click, paste, Control S, Control X to exit, and now we're basically going to, we're basically done. I'm going to sudo service Apache 2 restart. Okay, so that's for my web server. I'm restarting the web server. For the command line interface, not sure if it's going to work off the start. May need to restart VS Code. So let's see how this works. We're going to need So this one's done. We've done everything they've asked here. This is the XDebug installation. You can enable other features here, but that we'll leave for later. What we need to do is we need to go into here. So what we've done, those extra lines here are these lines right here. Okay, those 3 lines that we have added are these ones. That's for VS Code to work. Let's see, the web server, everything else should be good. Let's see, VS Code configuration. Okay, so next we got to follow these steps here. So let's go into here. So we go to our debugger, run and debug. So we don't need this one. We need to open up another file, but okay, let's go and open up okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so what I've done is I've just rebooted my my virtual machine, and I went to a PHP file. Okay, so I went to just some PHP file right over here, and then I clicked on run and debug, and it asked me to create a launch.json file, and it automatically creates this for you. And you can see that the environment variable here is XDebug, and it's for debug and development. So we can see here that it now works. I can go in and set a breakpoint. Let's see here. This is login.php. I can set a breakpoint. Let's say right here. Okay, and you can see here I can listen for XDebug, which is what I just did. And right here, another thing I can do, I got to go to this location. So let me go to this file first. So I set the breakpoint. I can start listening. Okay, so nothing is happening because I haven't yet gone to the file. So let me go to it. Let me go. It's under SE 2024. So I have to open up my browser. Then go to localhost SE 2024. So localhost, and it'll be SE 2024. I don't want to go directly to that one. Let me go to where am I here? SE 2020. I got to go to PHP and then login.php. So PHP. Login.php, go to the file, and you can see that I just hit the breakpoint that I set. So that is this is working now. I can change my breakpoint. I can jump over it, and you can see that the page is now showing. Right? Let me start again. I'm going to refresh the page. You can see there's nothing is showing here. And now I'm going to, from this breakpoint, I'm going to step over it again. And I'll just go right to the bottom and allow the page, or just step over. It'll go right to the end, basically, as I go there, and the page should be here. So this is the submitted page, but the form wasn't submitted. Okay, so anyway, that is here's my login. There was nothing submitted to this page. It was empty because there was no, the form wasn't submitted. Okay. Anyway, that's just showing you how to set up the debugger, and I'm going to stop here, and we'll try running it again. But I'm going to set a breakpoint. So here's my breakpoint. I'll set it up here. Turn that breakpoint off, and then what we're going to do is we're going to refresh. Oh, I didn't start listening. So start listening, and then run the, the breakpoint is gone. There we go. There's my breakpoint, and I'm going to listen. Oh, it's running. No. Okay. I'm going to refresh. Oh, let me restart this. Okay. Oh, probably I can't put a breakpoint there. Anyway, okay, no problem. Let's go back here. This is where the breakpoint is. Okay, there's not a lot of PHP on this page, so that's why. We're gonna listen and refresh. It hits the breakpoint, and then I'm gonna step over the breakpoint, go to the next point. Submitted equals false. You can see here. This is helping us to debug. There's some PHP here that we can probably go into. Here's PHP. Is it submitted? Now it's going to run here 0, right? Still trying to run the page. There's going to be no username and no password. So if I go here, go to the next one, username, there's nothing. Password, let's see here, there's nothing. And that's it for the PHP on this page. Okay. So anyway, that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you how to set up a debugger. I know it's a lot. It's quite involved. Just following the steps in the if you go to the extensions, XDebug, and you install these two extensions. All right. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helps you to set up debugging for PHP in VS Code, whether you're on Windows or Linux.